might only be Wednesday, but the weekend is front of mind with plenty bubbling away on the 360 agenda. The Dockers are in the air, bound for another MCG date with Hawthorn. But who caught the plane and who didn't? Paddy Ryder takes one mystery out of the Bombers' preparations. He won't play. The next issue, who'll do the rucking? And King and McClure ponder the scope of Port Adelaide. It's time to ask the question, are they not only finalists, could they actually be contenders? I'm Gerard Whateley, here's Mark Robinson. This Wednesday night it's footy from all angles. Hello Robbo.
Hello Gerard.
King and McClure are going to take the questions off Twitter today.
Are they really?
We're going to keep them in.
Does Casellas know what Twitter is?
I'm not sure that we've told him what's going on here. So fire your best on Twitter, hashtag AskKing or Ask McClure, and we'll keep them in for double duty.
I got one of those questions today.
Right.
Ask McClure, is he still friends with Rod Galt, who played for Carlton in the late 70s? He was a bit of an iconic sort of player and teammate. I'll ask him tonight.
Some obscure and some less obscure, I'm sure. A Wednesday love, Robbo.
Wednesday love. It is Wednesday, isn't it? Wednesday love. My Wednesday love is Brandon Ellis. Brandon Ellis got named the week before by the coach. Didn't have an issue with that. Not one little bit. Look at that goal. He kicked two from the boundary line from both sides. Took Bryce Gibbs as well as a man. Look at this. I mean, look at that. It's called standing up. It's been putting pressure on you by the coach. Standing up for yourself and saying, right, I'm going to make amends. He said after the game, didn't worry me, it used as motivation. Damien Harwick said last week, mate, don't worry about what I said. They hear worse sitting in the auditorium when he's abusing him. I thought it was a great comeback. One of the reasons why Richmond were able to get out to a good lead and narrowly hold on last week. He's a good young player. You?
Dean Cox. So Cox will play his 276th and record equaling game for the Eagles, putting him on par with Glenn Jakovic. I raise it this week. He breaks the record obviously the week after, but this is at home, so I'm sure it will be a celebration. He'll break the record down at Geelong if he stays healthy and fine, but this is at Subiaco where they've watched him. I mean, he'd be the most famous rookie list graduate, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Debuted in 2001.
And there's been a lot of good ones, but yes.
Yeah, and these are huge records within a club. He's said he wants to play on next year, so he'd be the first Eagle to reach 300 games if he's able to do that, if things sort of go his way health-wise. And I mean, he's been a marvel for so long. And he's another one. We're blessed at the moment. The Golden Oldies are all playing such good footy.
They are.
And he shows no sign of real deterioration either.
Yes, we love Dean Cox.
I've got a second love though, Robbo.
What is it?
I love it when you get it right. What sort of impression did Josh Kelly make with the Giants?
Josh Kelly?
Yeah.
If I was Dave Matthews, the CEO of GWS, I'd be running down with a 5-year contract as we speak.
And what do you know? At 2:34 today, it was announced that Josh Kelly's been signed to the end of 2017.
Dave Matthews sent me a message late this afternoon. I'd even forgot I said it. All I know is he's a gun.
Yes.
And you want to keep him. And more importantly, for an expansion team, their gun has signed on after 2 games of one quarter of football. He's extended his contract. That is fantastic because every club in the competition would be going after Josh Kelly, even we've seen 30 minutes of footy.
So I've got Josh for you. Josh is with us on the phone. Josh, welcome to AFL 360. Congratulations, it's been a big week.
Yeah, g'day guys. Thanks for having me.
You owe me some money, Josh.
yeah. You might. Dave must have been watching last night.
What's it? It's 2017. What's that? Where are we? 2014.
Yeah, that's
4 years. 4-year deal?
Extra 2 years added on to the 2 I have as a drafted player. Yeah.
Why would you move so quickly on that, Josh?
I think just everything that I've been a part of so far, the new Giants facility, the coaching staff, the welfare, the playing group, it's been really good for me. So, I saw no hesitation in signing on.
What's the move been like for you, settling yourself in and around Sydney?
It's definitely been a big one, moving away from family and friends back home, but the way the Giants do it with their welfare, we've got the Lamberts up here, Craig and Mel, who have been awesome for me, but I got 4 other boys who are also in the same position, and a lot of other young draftees that have been through something similar in the past. So, the Giants have done it and made it really easy for us.
Let me jump in, Josh. We've got footage on the TV right now of you receiving your jumper, all the players standing around you. What was that feeling like?
Oh, it's pretty special. I've seen footage of other players doing that in the past, and you hope it will be you one day, but you never really think you'll be in that exact position. So it was a pretty special moment that I'll hold forever.
You got up and down once or twice as the sub on the weekend. Thought you were coming on, then you didn't come on, then you sat back down and finally come on. Your first touch, describe it.
Pretty nerve-wracking, but I think my first touch was actually in a bit of a stoppage, so it was just kind of get the ball, get quick hands off, and get the first touch out of the way. That's all I really remember of it.
And how, even though it was only the 30 minutes of football, how tiring or confronting was it compared to the tack that you played, the TAC Cup? How different was it?
Oh, extremely different. Even though I've come on in the last quarter and a lot of the other players are a bit tired, just the way the ball moves, the intensity around the stoppage is something you can't really prepare for. But it was just really exciting to get out there.
Did any of the opposition players do anything to you?
No, I didn't. I didn't cop anything really, which is good by them, I guess.
Was it fun?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've wanted to play AFL my whole life, and I love the game. So to get out there on AFL stages, it was really enjoyable.
There's some great footage, Josh, and everyone's got parents. There's some footage of you after the game. I presume it was your mum and dad. Tell me if I'm wrong. How were they?
Oh, we lost the game, which was a bit disappointing, but for me to share the whole journey since under nines with them, and for them to be there for my debut was pretty awesome, and they love the footy, and they will continue to enjoy it, and they loved it.
You always be your mum's boy. Did I catch a slobbering kiss on you at some stage after the game?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I guess.
And we didn't remark last night, I don't think you'll be wearing the vest this week. Are you looking forward to a prolonged period in the game on Sunday?
I hope so. I hope I get the opportunity to play a full game. Just to get out there from the first bounce will again be another awesome experience. So, I hope so.
Good on you, Josh. Great to have you with us on 360, and congratulations on not only playing but a new contract as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jared and Rob. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Well done, pal. He's something special. Sorry, I hope he's not here. He knows he's a gun. He is something special, this kid.
Yeah.
You can tell, I know I said it last night, but you can just tell the way he uses the ball. He was nervous as hell. There's bodies coming everywhere. It's intense. And he was able to slow the game and pick and choose and deliver the ball. To me, it's a terrific sign of... I've got an itchy face now. It's about the fourth time I've scratched it. Looked up before and I've got my hands all over my head.
Okay. Well, I like to think that was the top of the agenda given all of that. So Fremantle is in the air flying from Perth to Melbourne, Friday night footy at the MCG against Hawthorn. You might even put them in the depleted category now, but we know Ross Lyon, he doesn't offer any sort of excuses on those fronts.
We'll be won and lost in the midfield. Both teams have got some hits in there at the minute, but we're excited by the challenge. We're going over to try and play our very best football and win or lose, try and improve. So it's always important to take your opportunities. At the end of the day, there's physical pressure and there's scoreboard pressure. So we would like to get off to a good start. The best teams start well. Best teams tend to win first quarters. It's hard to come from behind. We all know that. So it'll certainly be an aim to start well and kick straight. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, of those who didn't catch their plan, we know Fife and Barlow and Dawson wouldn't have. And then there was Michael Johnson, who didn't train today, and he hasn't travelled with the team.
Do you know why?
Well, Ross Lyon said for personal reasons.
When a coach or a club official says that immediately says to the reporter or the news people, back away.
Back away.
Back
but
away.
He did say that he expects Johnson will be playing on Friday night.
Well, then you're back in. No, I don't know. Well, it's important. Imagine if Johnson doesn't play. They lose. They lose. McFarlane will play, so they lose second and three tall defenders. They've already lost, their best midfielder and their third best midfielder in Barlow and Fife. Hawthorn. I think Mitchell will play. We don't think Hodge will play. I think it'll be a huge ask. Now, if Fremantle can get, if they can get over the line and go home and beat 3-0 and they get Hawthorn, through the covers in that first 3 rounds, geez, chock-a-block full of confidence. Because what it does, it exposes their depth. And Hawthorn will say the same thing. It exposes their depth to a really good outfit.
Yep.
And if their depth can come away with a victory, it just does so much to the confidence. There's Clancy Pearce. I think he's coming in, and someone else was coming in. I can't remember the other person.
Would Sylvia play, do you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so, because I don't know if the 2 midfielders are out, are like for like.
Yep.
I think you need a real gut-busting, head-over-the-ball kind of person to replace Barlow, and I think that may be Clancy Pearce coming in.
Be interesting to see their team tomorrow night.
Yeah, it will be.
See if Johnson does catch a flight tomorrow.
Does the tactical side of the game become even more important when you're dealing with maybe losing your queen and your castle before the game? It makes me wonder.
It's not quite the lineage, is it, from the grand final through this game and through what comes next? So that's what's disrupted for me. I still think there's plenty in it, but it's not quite the same. As on Sunday morning when Fremantle looked set, they looked set.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, right, they'll come, if they win, they run the season.
Who are you picked?
Don't know yet. I will want to see the Fremantle team tomorrow night. Michael Barlow, we know, is not going to be in it. Could be out for as many as 6 weeks with the knee injury. These are some of his thoughts.
One of the Suns came across my leg, and I did feel some pain initially, but was able to run out the game not too badly. And it probably wasn't until the next morning that I felt probably some more significant pain. It's only a 4 to 6er, so the glass half full approach from myself. No long-term effects, so you'll be seeing my blistering speed more later on in the year.
Good humour. Righto, we'll put Fremantle on hold till tomorrow night and have a really close look then.
With the 2, Hall and Mooney. Haven't seen him for 2 weeks. You missing him?
Yes. Be nice to
missing Mooney.
The Essendon side of things. I'm not sure whether it was on air or off air that you were whispering to Bomber the other night about Paddy Ryder and thinking surely he couldn't get up. Well, the answer is he's not going to.
Yeah, most likely to miss this week. I'm still pretty sore at the moment, so hopefully I'll get everything right this week and ready to tackle Freo next week.
Pretty confident it will only be a 1 week.
Yeah. We had scans and stuff like that, so that's cleared any major damage. But obviously, rolled over pretty badly on it. So it's still pretty sore. And once I get up and running, everything should be fine from there.
So with Ryder out and Bill Chambers the long-term injury, the ruck stalks are there.
Very much so. They've got a rookie ruckman at the moment, Thurlow. I don't know if he's coming in, Thurlow. I think they'll ask Carlo.
Right,
mate. You have to stand up for 1 week. We need you to go up against, which is going to be difficult, up against a beanstalk like Warnock, who can actually get his hands on the ball first pretty well. But Carlo might be able to hurt Warnock around the ground.
Right.
So that might be a bit of a trade-off there. It's a risk for both clubs, actually. Look at the way Ryder's walking. He's got no chance of playing. No. He might be struggling for next week, let alone this week. I just don't think Thompson is going to be ready to put young Thurlow. Fraser Thurlow, his name is. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
When I was sort of struggling to get his name out, you could have jumped in.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you were struggling.
Problem is when I start going, you don't know if I'm just being stupid or I'm struggling for the name.
Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between when you'll get there and when you actually need help.
Man,
that's all right.
No worries.
The Adelaide
I wouldn't mind
side
going to the
things.
trenches with you. Talking about the Anzacs. What a story this afternoon.
Which one?
The Anzacs tickets.
Oh,
hey?
Yeah.
I thought
Just
this is
for a
the
moment.
biggest blunder the AFL has ever done.
Quickly
in
give
their
us the pricing.
Well, as a story broke on the A's that some veterans, Anzac veterans, were going to miss out on free tickets.
Tickets that had always been allocated.
Yeah, always for Anzac Day. And we thought, God almighty, the AFL, what have you done? You cannot in any way hurt the Anzacs. Oh, and it proved to be not right. Thank God. So, back to, I still wouldn't go in the trenches with you, though.
Fair enough. The Adelaide Crows, Richard Douglas made a quicker than expected return from nasty injury, and he detailed a little bit today about the precautions that he's taken and what he's been through.
The boys had a few gags, which has probably been good the last couple of weeks, so it's been humorous for them, but probably not so much for me.
How tough for you was it? I mean, it's a pretty serious injury, we understand.
Yeah, obviously a bit of pain the first couple of weeks, but once I got past that, I was fine to go, so it's good to get out on the weekend and play my role for the team, I guess.
How did you get back so quickly? They were talking 6 weeks originally, and you played within 3, and not only played, but you played really well.
I guess I called up the surgeon. He said, "You're right to run. It's not going to do any further damage," but I guess it was just probably getting some good protection that would, provide me obviously with the protection I needed. So once I got that and all cleared it from the AFL, I was right to go.
So what did you use to protect that area?
I'll give Gray Nichols a little plug here. I use one of their trusted boxes that they use with cricket. Yeah, so just use that and just gave me the peace of mind, really. If I got hit there again, that it'd be fine, because the surgeon was only concerned if I got another blow there that it could, obviously be quite dangerous.
So he danced around it for a little while and got there in the end.
Andrew Capel was asking the question. Why did he just get straight to the point? What did you do to cover the skulls? But how difficult would it to run with a cricket box on? Have you ever done that? Did you play cricket?
Yeah.
Did you?
But that's a bit different to... I just hit boundaries, Robbo.
Did you? Calypso?
Yeah.
Calypso, Jared.
I'm the Dave Warner mould, can't you tell?
Oh, you would have waltzed that like Viv Richards chewing on the gum.
A single every third over was sort of more like go.
Tuck it around the leg. Anyway, good on him.
There's a brave effort to get back given the nature of the injury, and he's come back 4 weeks ahead of schedule.
He said he was in pain for a couple of weeks. Now, for the blokes out there, we know what that pain is like. I couldn't be that excruciating. You couldn't live with that pain for 2 weeks. It must have subsided a little bit, but 2 weeks of
Drugs. Okay, right. The first Q clash of the season is coming up on the weekend, and as far as the Suns go, there's a lot at stake here, and Gary Ablett, for one, hasn't been mincing his words.
We believe that, if we play our brand of football, and as I spoke about before, get those little basic things right, that we're a massive chance of winning. We're going out there to win, so hopefully we can get one back on them. What have they won the last 5 or 6 now against us? So it is important that we go out, we perform well and play 4 consistent quarters. If we can do that, then it gives us a huge chance. The bookie's got us favourite? There we go, that's a start.
So those are the terms as set by the skipper. Let's head to the Gold Coast now and join a man who serves under Ablett as a vice-captain and finished runner-up to him in the best and fairest last year, Dion Prestia. Dion, welcome to AFL 360.
Thank you, boys. Thanks for having me.
Give us a feel. In the progression that the Suns are trying to make this year, how important is it to win the Metricon Q Clash?
It's a pretty important game for us, this one. We've been starting to play really well at Metricon in the last couple of years, so I think we've won our last 6 out of 8 at Metricon and started off the year really, really good here. But coming up against Brisbane, it's always a tough game, and they've had the wood on us the last couple of years. So we're looking to really make a difference and really time to stand up for ourselves.
I've heard from various levels of the club, probably from the board down, about the eagerness to beat Brisbane, having not done so since that first occasion. Does that filter through to the player group as well?
Definitely. So they're just down the road from us here. So obviously it's a good rival, so a good Queensland rival to have. But exactly. Beating us 5 times in a row is just not acceptable anymore, especially here. So playing at Metricon's a good advantage as well, and it should be a really good contest on Saturday.
Okay, you've mentioned the ground there a couple of times, and this is one of the threads we explored with Guy McKenna just ahead of the season. To be winning the games at your home ground, how big a focus has that been for you?
It hasn't been a massive focus like in the pre-season. I haven't talked about it a lot. It's just something that's kind of happened in the last, probably like end of our 2012 year. We're just starting to really play good footy here, and yeah, well, we have to make it an advantage for us, just like West Coast and Freo do over in Perth. So, yeah, coming up here, playing in the heat, yeah, we're just really trying to make it an advantage for us.
Hey, Dean, I want to talk about the elevation of yourself as a footballer. If memory serves me correct, you started down back and you've moved into the midfield, runner-up best and fairest last year. What do you put your elevation down to? Maturity, more pre-seasons, learning off some of the best?
Yeah, all them three definitely, but yeah, obviously we got probably the best midfielder in the game to learn off. So yeah, Gaz is a big help for us, and other players like Jago, Amira, and Dave Swallow as well. Like, we can learn heaps off him. But yeah, pre-season, pretty much knowing my body now. So my first couple of years, I kept getting injured, kept getting little niggles. Where now the last 2 years, I've built a pre-season, done pretty much most of it this year, and yeah, it's just leading me into a good year, hopefully. And that's probably what I put it down to last year as well, just having the pre-season and yeah, knowing my body and just making sure it's right every week.
Well, as you know, we talk about the midfields in every game of football. You've moved into it. How much do you understand how important it is that you became a mature footballer really quick, to stand up for this football club and take on the best midfielders in the competition?
Yeah, so I guess in our first year we pretty much got thrown into the midfield, and just to compete against blokes who have played 200 more games than us. So I guess we got progressed a lot quicker than a lot of normal midfielders would. So we probably wouldn't have had games if we went to a club that has already been established. So that probably helped a lot. And yeah, exactly, like, we know that there's a lot of midfielders, and we were at our midfield, especially this week. And last year we were able to stay on the ground for pretty much 22 rounds. So if we all do that this year, then yeah, it should be a really strong point for us this year.
Compare then to now. When you first started and you went into the midfield and you're up against those 200 gamers, they were fitter than you, they were stronger than you. I would imagine you were thinking, God almighty, are we ever going to get strong enough and fit enough to go with them? Are you at that stage now?
Yeah, I still think we got a bit to go, but I reckon it was just football knowledge as well. Like, I can't even really remember my first game. I was that nervous, so it's just yeah, probably just being able to understand what it takes to be an AFL footballer, and especially to take on midfields that there are in the AFL. Yeah, it's probably the main thing, I reckon. Just knowing the footy and just being smart about everything. But obviously the physical side comes into it. And now this is our 4th year, so yeah, you expect the boys to be ready to go now.
Right, so last one from me. Do you miss Campbell Brown on the field?
Yeah, definitely. Probably his aggression is probably his strongest point. So yeah, we're still trying to probably fill that position. But yeah, Brownie's toughness is probably something that we'd miss, and every club would love to have in their forward line as well.
This phase early in the season, Dion, it could really set you up for something, whether it's a tilt at the finals, whether it's a break-even year, whatever it is it really does go with Brisbane and Melbourne in there as well. Do you have a sense that the first 6 rounds could set you on your way?
Yeah, definitely. So we definitely want a good start to the year. So yeah, it was a pretty tough game last week against Fremantle, but we thought we held our own against them, even though the result probably didn't show like a 48-point loss that we had. But yeah, these are first 6 games probably. Like, if we can get a few wins, it's definitely going to give us a confidence boost, which is going to be pretty dangerous for us. So yeah, if we get about 3 or 4 wins in the first 6 games, yeah, it's going to be really good for us.
I can sense your keenness from here. Good luck with it, Dion. Good luck for the Q Clash and beyond.
Thank you.
Dion Prestia with us from the Gold Coast on AFL 360.
He's a gun.
Yeah,
he's a gun.
And getting better. We'll bring in our 2 big guns, Mark McClure and David King, to face a set of questions, first from us and then from you.
is the biggest day ever in South Australian sporting history.
Let's be honest, this is a big game. We're big enough in here to handle that heat. You know, it's first game here, it's showdown, it's all that goes on. It feels like, and it feels like a final.
The city's alive. It's like South Australia's grand final, isn't it?
And I reckon you need to lean on each other. If you can see one of you is having a bit of a dirty time or it's not quite working for you, just help get each other up. Talk to each other a little bit different to the group. You are here to help and support each other because you have a responsibility to 14 other blokes. And when you go out there, you have a responsibility to probably 55,000 people, which is a big bit of pressure to carry. But I'm sure you can do it, all right? So again, Tommy, in yous I do trust. And I'm sure you'll come in tonight with what you deserve, all right? Go get them.
The rebirth of football in South Australia. There's only ever one first time, and this is it. The first ever showdown at Adelaide Oval is underway. Slips the attempted tackle, back to Hartlett, back to Gray. 45 out, nails it. He just wanted it more, and both goals. Long goal square, Eddie, for the first time today. The Adelaide Crows lead. Port Adelaide getting numbers. Wingard, no way! Butcher White's got the pace.
Oh, he's had a ping.
He goes for goal. It could go all the way. Every showdown has that history-making moment.
Oh, he's saying on Port Adelaide now.
Port Adelaide will own this moment in history forever.
Was one hell of a good afternoon in Adelaide. David King, you were there for it. Welcome.
Boys, how are you?
And Mark McClure, I great pride in announcing, Mark, that hashtag Ask McClure is trending on Twitter.
Oh, no.
They're all coming for you.
I know it's about too.
Relationship advice. Relationship.
Relationship advice.
Relationship?
Yeah.
With who? Uncle Mark.
You're like Dr. Feelgood. No, it's like, I think it's about Buddy Franklin kicking 10.
Oh,
yeah. You know, those nutcase pies.
Yeah.
Come again, nutcase. Actually, I was wrong, okay? Take that back, I was wrong. I'm sorry, I didn't realise.
Because that will stop it.
Yeah, no, you won't get one more tweet now. And I didn't realise how sick Sydney were as a footy club.
What I've noticed with Twitter, when you get something wrong, you get a lot of feedback.
Oh, it just goes straight through the Cooper, doesn't it?
If you don't, you get a lot of support from guys like these two. Let's just fuel the fire.
I had a question for you. Rod Galt. Remember, someone asked me to ask you on Twitter today. Do you still see Rod Galt? Were you mates with Rod Galt?
I haven't seen him for 20 years. He's been up in the Gold Coast for some time.
Yep.
He's made millions and lost them all, and made it again and lost them all, and he's just
agony aunt here. I know him. He's lost millions.
He's just one of those guys who that's how he survives and lives.
How he rolls.
Yeah, you're on for the third break, and we'll field our questions then. But
he did miss 8 weeks with a blister though.
He made 15 million while he missed 8 weeks.
As an occasion first, what was it like to be there?
The venue's fantastic, and I think if you support, any other side, you've got to get down there. You've got to go to that away game. Koshy was fantastic on the weekend, saying come to Adelaide, have a look, enjoy the state. But the venue is a great blend of the old and the new. It's done with absolute class. There wasn't a person there on the weekend that was disappointed with the occasion or the venue. The game was fantastic, but really it was just go and have a look at the new stands. Mark Prosciutto's got his name on the stand there, which is great for us. It was fantastic. Bit unfortunate, it's the dead pocket, but that's that's
what about the ground itself? The stadiums, the grandstands and the facilities are fantastic. In the fence, as a footy oval, what did you think?
Terrific, like carpet out there, and just the feedback from the fans. You can actually hear them. Some venues, it's the noise is trapped in. It was so noisy. I interviewed Ken Hinkley a metre and a half from the boundary line before the game. I didn't hear what he said. I didn't actually hear his answers, which made no real difference to what I was asking because we just rolled on. But you just couldn't hear. And I thought the Port Adelaide fans really, it was their home game and they did the right thing. They turned up, they were ready to go, and their players didn't let them down.
All right, what about the credentials of Port Adelaide?
I think they're very strong.
Yeah.
Very, very strong. I think we underestimated them. I left them out of 8, and I actually made a mistake there too. Made a few this week. So I think that they've got a definite top 4 chance.
Can they win it?
Maybe, but they've got to beat Fremantle and Hawthorn, and they're the key 2 sides.
Can they win it, Kingy?
I think they can. I've been shocked by them. I'm the same as Sellers. I mean, we guessed at the start of the year, really. We haven't seen the exposed form that the first couple of weeks offer you. What you need an asset that other teams have to counter. And if they can't counter, that asset can beat them. Their running power. Now, I know we talk about it, and Ken's putting it to everyone. He's putting it out there. He's putting it out there for his own players and for the opposition teams coming across. If you can't run, don't come. And that is absolutely spot on, and they are living that. They've got some amazing endurance athletes, but they've just got this preparedness to work for one another, both defensively and offensively. And I think with an asset like that, you can go as deep as you absolutely desire, and I think they're a real contender now.
Yeah, but that's the challenge to the players too. He keeps saying it, so you got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And that's good coaching.
Good coaching?
Yeah, very good coaching.
What about their physicality? I think you're talking about their weapons. It's not just their run. They attack the ball.
You know, I like the defence. Their young defence. You know, I mean, you've got
Trango's a real leader.
Yeah, Holmes,
for a young fella.
Yeah, Jonas, Impey, kids like that are in a good side, and they'll develop quicker through that sort of area of being, you know, like what he was talking about with his leaders before. That was really good stuff. Basic, simple stuff that is required. I don't know. So I hope most coaches do that to their players, because that is what sets the pattern for the game. What do you do? What are you going to do? How are you going to do this? Are you going to continue to do this? Are you going to continue to develop the rest? I think he does it very well. So
What
good effort.
did you think of Hinkley's pre-match?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because you sometimes get let in, and I think this is where Port have been really refreshing. This is why they're the number one team in Adelaide at the moment in South Australia.
You've said that for 4 weeks now.
They're fresh and they're open. They allow us access into areas that we haven't been for some time, and they're not afraid to get their message out there. This is who we are. There's no smoke and mirrors. It's all about hard work, honesty, and never give up. And Ken has lived that from the minute he got there.
What about, from a football perspective, what he said? We don't know how long before they ran out, and there's always talk about styles and the way we're going to play. And you're from the older school, and you talk about the mental approach. What did you feel listening to Ken Hinkley?
His big message at the end there was be calm. You know, you guys need to be calm so the rest of the younger players can follow you guys. And I thought it was a fantastic message, because it was an unbelievable atmosphere out there. Jared Hilly kept saying it's electric, and it was.
You could feel it. You could feel it.
Oh, you could feel it.
Through
The moment they kicked that first goal, the roar was unbelievable. And I thought, how can you not get carried away with that? It was like a final, and they played it like a final. They were measured, they were calm, and they were brutal when they had to be. It was fantastic.
Adelaide? Where's Adelaide sit in your mind at 0-2?
I think they're a bit of a victim of circumstance, really. I mean, they've got a lot of power forwards that aren't there. I mean, we know the Walker story, but they've just got no forward line at the moment. You know, Pods is really battling. I'm not sure he's in their best side anymore, and it's only 2 weeks into his move. Eddie Betts was great, but really Eddie was only great for 30 minutes. 40 minutes of footy on a second gamer. Outside of that, really struggled to find any other avenues. They've been forced to play quick because they haven't got a gun tall. They've been forced to go through the corridor. They go through the corridor more than anyone else in the competition.
And here's their turnovers.
Yeah, and they pay a price for the turnovers. And those numbers are unbelievable. I mean, they are world records. You know, they're
miracle numbers. 16 goals, King.
Yeah, they're clearly the worst team in the competition for giving up scores from turnover. Clearly, like 10 goals poorer than the second worst team, which is Carlton, I think, on 140 odd points. So they've been made to play aggressive because of their stocks, and they're paying a price. So Sando's really caught in a tough place.
Yeah, I agree with you with Pods. He's shaky, very shaky, and the other one is McKernan. I don't understand what he does really. He's an unusual player, I would think. He's a strange unit. Doesn't work hard enough, doesn't run hard enough, doesn't do all the things you need to do as a tall, and doesn't get to the right spots. So all of a sudden it's left to Eddie. He can't do it on his own.
2 goals, 9 marks between the two keys in the last 2 weeks.
It's not good enough.
And it's not their fault, because the midfield is responsible for a little bit of that.
Dangerfield's worried.
You just want a little bit more.
Dangerfield's worrying me at the moment. Every time I see him, he's on the ground. He's always sprawled somewhere.
He's had 38 touches in 2 weeks, Paddy Dangerfield, going at 50% efficiency. That's not Paddy.
That's not Paddy.
It's not him, and they need him to spark them. They need him to inspire. You know, some of those things he did last year, particularly late in the big games, were fantastic. So they just need to get him back. It's a problem at the moment, though, no doubt.
National comp's alive and well when we spend the first 7 minutes on Port Adelaide and Adelaide, isn't it?
You wanted to table Melbourne with Kingy. So let's start with the coaching position, and this was Paul Roos with us on Monday night.
I mean, you analyse your own performance. You know, my performance was deplorable, you know, as a coach.
Why was it deplorable?
Well, you lose by 93 points. You know, I'm the person that's directing that group.
How are you reading Paul Roos's response?
I think it's great. You know, if I'm a player and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, the coach is not saying, like previous coaches have, oh, we're not picking this team next week, not on your life, for they going to Perth, that's 22.
That was Mark Neal.
He's saying, I'm in this. I've had a bad day as well, boys, but we've got to get better than this. We've got to turn this around. It's us. It's actually uniting. Sometimes the best messages come when you're absolutely down and out. You know, he's cuddled a lot of these players through pre-season. He's made sure their confidence has been there. But they were always going to have lapses. They were always going to have games where they just bottomed out. He's a couple of games into trying to turn a club around. I mean, there's so much going on down there that I think you're going to have. There'll be another couple of these for the year. You know, they had a percentage last year of 52. Right now it's 42. So Roos would be panicking about that because the one thing he didn't want was the big blowout losses. And he's probably coached for that a little bit. You know, they really have tried to just hang on to the ball and take time off the clock. I'm not sure if I'm a Melbourne fan, I want to go and watch that all year. I'd rather him say, you know what, I'm going to release the shackles. We're going to try and score. We're going to try and create some scores and give ourselves some energy through ticking our scoreboard over for a while. And we may cop some losses that are big losses. But I think there'll come a point where he has to release the shackles.
Lots of possessions, got nowhere to go to. No forwards, no Clark, no Dawes, no Hogan. It's a syndrome that we just talked about with Adelaide then. They got nowhere to go, they don't know what to do with it, and they're in trouble. So I think positivity is a really good thing. Just keep positive, have some fun, try something different, enjoy. I know it's hard to enjoy sometimes, but enjoy each other's company is important, and try and improve. And that's all they can do. There's nothing you can do.
He probably knows too, by taking responsibility at, you know, let's call it $1.5 million a year, 2 games into a 2-year contract. They probably can't tip him out. Let's be honest with you.
They want him to sign another year.
We can't. So it's a pretty safe thing to say. It's my fault. This one, my fault.
Tell me about the sight, guys, of a team when you haven't got the key forwards, and you think, right, we know we're running down the race. We know we haven't got the key forwards. But we're getting our hands on the pill, but we know we can't kick it long because we're going to lose it straight away. What does that do to a player's head?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer, but you've got to change the style. You've got to push people up the ground. You've got to have small forwards with space. So then you've got to use space instead of actually bombing it. I mean, that was poor handball, poor disposal, execution's poor. You know, I mean, I think that's an attitude thing. That chest mark drop. You can't drop that chest mark and have a good attitude about being strong on what you do. So look, it's all crowded there. You've got to move them out, get people around, change the style of play completely.
That's the question
I wanted to ask. If you haven't got talls, you've got to play with smalls.
Can you play with that game plan if it's not producing scores?
That's the situation that Adelaide are in right now.
Yeah.
You need to do something a bit more aggressive, something a bit different to get the ball in there quicker, to give these small players a chance. And you pay a price. If you turn it over, you pay a price. But they're paying a price anyway. What's it matter? I think that Melbourne people are forgiving of what's going to be served up for a period of time. But they're not happy with the lack of intent. They're not happy with the lack of defensive pressure that's been put on. And that is a real concern for Roosie, and he knows that.
Okay, the Western Bulldogs have started 0-2. They haven't picked up where they left off last year, and it is causing concern. Don't worry about the externals. This was Brendan McCartney today.
It's been a pretty physically demanding start to the year with time frames, and we're going to train today and just do enough to freshen them up a little bit. And we're going to turn up on Saturday to have a real crack again, and we're confident we can do it for a little bit longer than we did last Sunday. We fell about not a long way short. It was probably 15 minutes. Fight all day to play the way we want and see where it takes us.
So they can't get the fight for the duration at the moment.
Looks calm there, doesn't he? I'm not sure he'd be that calm behind closed doors. I think there'd be some home truths being read down there at the moment. Some of their younger players have been outstanding. Dalhouse has had a good start to the year. McRae's had a fantastic start to the year. But some of the senior core would be getting eyeballed at the moment.
Who?
I think you look at the top end. You know, they need more. Murph was great for a period the other night, but then made a couple of big blues. You got Kearney who can spike and give some more. Boydie who can give some more. Minson who can give some more. They need these players.
Slow start,
they're at a club that can't afford to have, you know, a quarter off here and there. They're not at that stage where someone else will take up that slack. They need to lead the way, and I've got no doubt that he'd be telling them that.
They're in the same boat as the other two we just talked about. They've got no forward line. No tall forwards. Who have they got? Jones can't mark it.
Well,
they just rushed the ball away straight from him. They just got no one down there.
Campbell was in and out.
Well, it's just not. You need to have a target and someone who demands the ball and wants it. And you're going to come through me, and this is what you're going to do. You're all going to get round, and that's how you play.
It was an atrocious game the other day, mate.
Oh, no. I watched the first half. I couldn't watch any more.
It was unwatchable.
I agree with you.
For half of football, that was just terrible.
It's terrible.
One goal.
All right, the overall state of the game, and the main trigger point here has been the decision to try to let it flow with the umpiring. And you can't argue with the numbers, the way it's come out, what the intent is here, and what the direction has been. The total free kicks to this point, you just have a look at that, 300 difference across a couple of rounds of footy, and on the average per game, it's dropped significantly from 46 to 33. Are you endorsing it? Are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying not seeing the umpires grandstand. I'm actually enjoying that. I'm enjoying that the players are allowed to play. Have we seen any untoward sort of stuff on the ground because of it? No, we haven't. We've seen none of that. It's been the games we've been playing in clean and in a really good manner. So I endorse it. I want more of it. Less is best. Least is best here with the umpires.
I don't necessarily think the numbers ever give us a great idea of where the game's at. With the umpiring standard. You pay them if they're there, and if you don't see them, we play on. Players will adjust.
Yeah, but this is gone now. The touch of the shoulder
I agree with
gone. No one's going to take your head off. No one does. It's an accidental touch.
You can nearly throw the ball out now.
Well, you
can throw the ball out from any
throw.
scrimmage.
Yeah.
If someone gets mauled and tackled by 12 guys, we play dropping the ball. Now,
correct.
That infuriates me.
You can go too far.
Yeah, I think we've gone too far on that one. So there's still some tweaking to be done, but you'd have to say that Wayne Campbell's on the right path, regardless of whether we agree or disagree.
There's no way they'll ever get it right.
Of course not. So
in someone's eyes, it'll be wrong.
It's always wrong or right every year. It drives me
Doesn't
insane.
matter. But they're going the right way.
Carl,
what do you want to know about them?
Oh. What'd you do, Brock McLean? Sitting on the bench at 3/4 time. Now there is an explanation, but I'll set you up first. I'll throw you under the bus. What would you do with him this week?
I thought Brock was harshly dealt with by the press, by the media on TV. He was disappointed. He was terrible. He'd had 2 years in the doldrums before that, and then his last year was outstanding. And all of a sudden, he's struggling this year. He's struggling to run. He's struggling to keep up with it, and he knows it. He's not a dill. He knows.
He didn't know that you couldn't go out in the ground.
That's rubbish. That's total rubbish.
So you're calling him? No, I won't.
No, I think that's rubbish. Everyone knows the rules on that. You can walk on the ground if you're in the game. So look, just take a bit of slack with him. I think that, to my opinion, I'm certain he'll be there this week.
Bryce Gibbs.
Bryce Gibbs, eh? Well, if he wants to go, let him go. It's my opinion. No one wants to be held up for ransom and money. Last year, Hawthorn handled it beautifully. They didn't comment about it, didn't say anything. I'm pretty certain he's probably already been made an offer and ready to go. And if he wants to go, let him go. Well, there's all this stuff about managers coming in and going, I want a 5-year plan. What a load of...
This free agency is a disaster.
Absolutely.
Absolute disaster. It was brought in for players like Shane Tuck stuck at Richmond, can't get a game, can't get opportunity. Well, we're going to come up with a format that he can leave the club and go and play senior football somewhere else. It's all about the stars grabbing cash now. And you're having to sign players up 1 and 2 years ahead to overlap so you don't find yourself in this situation. It is costing clubs a bomb, and it's a disaster.
All right, stay put. There's plenty of questions coming. Ask King and Ask McClure next on AFL 360. And after us tonight, Bounce is on a Wednesday night. So all the fun of the fist and plenty more.
Smith going again. His cycle's deep inside the 50. Bruce was in front as he pushed in the back. Hill, Rioli scoots away and kicks the goal.
Trying to sock it off the ground was Isaac Smith. Now he does a second time. Trying to pick it up. Bruce 30 out for goal. Hill all over the top. Rioli's going to run in his kick. Hawks have got the lead back. 57 seconds remaining. They just surged it forward. Rioli was on the end of it, and now the Hawks by 3 points.
Bruce was carried forward, handball by Hill, Rioli in the open goal! Rioli's kicked the goal! Off the ground went Smith, Puopolo and Smith ends it up inside the 50. Bruce taking the ground without it, Hill hand passes, Rioli for the winner perhaps!
Righto, face up, David King and Mark McClure answering your questions from Twitter. The first is for
Rod Gulp sent one in.
The first is for you, Kingy. It's from Darren. Is North more or less likely to be successful with the style we saw on the weekend compared to last year's run and gun approach?
Geez, that's a very good question. It's a toughie first up. I'm not sure what their style is at the moment. They're caught in betwixt and between. There's an overlap problem here with obviously the pre-season period, and they're getting a little bit wrong. So let's wait until they settle.
Sellers from Tim. Malthouse wants Cruiser to learn to be a true forward. Is this possible at this level and stage of his career?
Well, you just can't play in the ruck all your life, and so you need to rest somewhere, and I think that's not a bad idea if he learned how to play it forward and teach him. And one thing with him, I would like him to touch someone in the ground. He never hits a body, and he needs to do that.
Jaden has sent for you, Kingy. Do you think we need to wait until West Coast play a better side before we rate them, having played only the Bulldogs and Melbourne?
I think that's what Adam Simpson will be saying. Yep, we've done this, that's fine, guys. Let's wait till the cream come over and let's see how we go against the big boys. They play St Kilda, Geelong, Port Adelaide, Carlton the next few weeks, so we'll get a better idea.
David has sent for you. Sellers, any improvement seen in Carlton? Are they sitting ducks this week versus Essendon?
Don't ever give up. Give up never won a race, Jared. I don't know if you know that. But
Trenches.
Look, they are sporadic in the way they play. And if they ever put it together, they'll kill somebody. But
can't be turning it on and off. They're not a good team if they turn it on and off, is it, Sellers?
You can always change. You can always get better, Robbo. You can't just label them first up.
Have they improved yet?
Come on.
No, they haven't improved in 2 years.
Are they sitting ducks?
Are they sitting ducks?
Correct.
Finally! Nick has sent for you, Kingy. Has your confidence in Richmond been shaken by their last 2 efforts?
No. They always get beat by the Gold Coast. We know that. They always lose that one. Don't lose hope on that one. It's too early to lose hope. Wait till there's a really big game and it really disappoints you.
Nick has sent for you, Sellers. Do you think that Malthouse has lost touch with the modern game given his recent poor performances in the coaching box?
Wow, let's go.
No, I don't. I think that his players have let him down on many occasions. Sometimes you can't get a kick and sometimes you can't do lots of things. But I think that I think it's time to play some youth. There you go. And he's got to start to put on the table that you better do what you're supposed to do. You want all this money, you play like you want this money.
Play that in about 6 weeks when he's asking for his head.
Jag Veer sent for you, Kingy. How do you think Collingwood's backline will structure up this week without Brown and Sinclair against the Cats?
I think Keefe comes back in. He was unlucky to go out. He lost a bit of form at the wrong time, and Fasalo played half-back on the weekend and was very good apparently. So 2 good ins for the Pies. They'll get rolling. They've been pretty good, the Pies, on the weekend, weren't they? They were fantastic. So a couple of good ins.
See if you're picking up a
Any
theme
more
with these
Malthouse?
to Sellers. This is from Rowan. If Carlton lose on Sunday, can Mick play kids?
Yes.
And try to get as many wins as possible with the old crew.
I want him to play more Dylan Buckleys. I didn't realise how good Jimmy Buckley was as a sire.
He looked good, didn't he?
As a sire, Jimmy is a very
I've never
good
seen him as a
sire.
sire.
I didn't realise he was that good.
But what about when Dylan was taking on the game?
Kids will do that. Keep playing them.
We could have gone on for the next hour, I reckon, with the amount of Carlton questions that lobbed for him.
Give him another one.
And off to the Comedy Festival.
We'll give him another one.
Comedy Festival, eh?
Is that where you're heading?
Are we seeing again?
Who would you rather be up next? Tomorrow night, we haven't seen them for a while. Cam and Baz in for fight night as we look ahead toward round 3.
See if you can send a few more Mick Malthouse questions. That'd be good.
Rather be?
Who would you rather be?
Jared Waitley or Mark Robinson? I would rather be Jared Waitley every day of the week.
9 to 5. I was disappointed with that. I've liked Matt 5 since game 2.
All right.
I don't take it personally.
No, clearly we're not going to hold that against anyone.
5 chose you. Even though Joel Selwood picked you and who would you rather be, which I wasn't happy about. Haven't had a go at my figure. Joel Selwood. Not that I take things to heart.
No, that's right.
And if Nathan 5, I'm off 5.
That's right.
I'm off 5.
I've forgotten about that.
He said,
out of a personal campaign to try to free him, shouldn't I?
Who would you rather be? And he said, quote unquote, Jared by the length of the straight. He didn't say, Jared a little bit, or I really like Jared's big words.
Every day.
He said length of the straight. He didn't say that. He said every day of the week.
That's all right. So who would you rather be? Oh, I realise that. So I just want to get a gauge of how far off him you are.
You're an
So
arsehole. You are an arsehole. You were going to put me in it.
Nathan Fife or James Magnuson?
Oh, Fife. Easy. I don't even know
So you're not
Magnuson.
that far off Fife.
Oh, he's a gun.
It's just a tiff.
It hurt. It hurt. You don't understand how much I just love that guy as a footballer.
Yeah. Roll it back.
Now, acting this week, Jared. Acting. Who would you rather be, Jordan Lewis or Jerry Lewis?
Very good.
What a great choice of
I
picture.
think I'd rather be Jordan Lewis.
Would you really?
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably
Jerry
a bit more
Lewis
active at the moment.
length-
For Hawk fans tomorrow
every day
night,
of the week.
we will have the Playing to Win book available to win here. We'll be speaking with the author ahead of the grand final rematch. That's it from us. Jason Dunstall on Bounce.